I did an episode once, and it was you and me down here. It's like, why is it so dark?
No reflection whatsoever. We blended in with the shadow. Damn it.
Damn it. Okay.
All right. Spoilers ahead. Oh my god. I've been waiting to talk about this.
Man.
And I held it in till this day, this moment right here. I was losing it in the movie theater. I know we promised you guys we were going to talk about some anime, but throw that out the window. Maybe we'll get to it later in this episode. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, man.
If you guys have not seen it yet, go watch it, come back, listen, watch. If you have, or if you just don't care about spoilers, stick around because we're going to get into some stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. Miles Morales, and my boy Miguel
O'Hara. Dude, like
both representing the Hispanic culture, you know. Miles Morales, you know, representing that Puerto Rican, and then Miguel, Mexican.
You know, it's funny because a lot of people don't know that Miles is Puerto Rican or half Puerto Rican.
Yeah, because his mom's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, so like I read a few comics, and once I found out, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool, you know? Like, I didn't really think anything of it. And then even my wife one time was like, oh, he's Puerto Rican? It's like, yeah.
See, I knew it, and I forgot about it. So as I was sitting there and I'm watching it, reminded me that he was Puerto Rican. I was like, familiar.
So like, it was funny because like even in the movie they did like a few little references. Like, remember when they were like in front of the school counselor and they're talking stuff like that, and it's like, oh, you got to be in Spanish, like how dare you? And she snapped her finger. The little animation that came
for
the snap, it was a little Puerto Rican flag.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I did. There were so many things that were popping up, like especially then they did the little like the boxes, and they like did information on what was going on.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there trying to read it so quick, and it'd go away. I'm
man.
like, I'm dyslexic. You cannot be doing that. I was like, oh.
And there was like a lot. So like, first of all, like I want to just say there was a lot of references, a lot of cameos, a lot of Easter eggs, cameos. And it's like, yo, I thought, you know, at one point I thought it's like I want to see a movie with everything in it. And I just like, I was like, wait a minute. I think I might have been a little bit over my head, you know?
So let's get right to, you know, the start of it. You know, it opens up with Gwen
Stacy. Yep.
It's going through her issues and how she becomes basically part of the Spider-Verse crew. Yeah, she's like a
he said Miguel had said the
like
name of it,
TMA,
but it's like,
is it the TMA for like Loki, where they kind of TVA, yeah, where they kind of stop timelines from branching
basically
out.
So like the Spider-Verse, so this is where it kind of gets like really, really weird, because you have the TVA, and this is doing the exact same thing as the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, they even show the timeline exactly like they did in Loki.
Exactly like they did in Loki. And this is where it kind of gets confusing, because like, do we have a Spider-Verse or do we have a multiverse? Like, what do we have here? And it's our portrayal in this movie was a Spider-Verse, right?
Yeah.
Like all the Spider-Man trying to handle all these timelines, but in reality it's just one multiverse that we're trying to clean up.
Exactly. So in the beginning, you know, like I said, it starts with Gwen, and then our boy Miguel from 2099. That's the year he comes from. Yep. Pretty much pops in and helps Gwen stop a Renaissance vulture.
Yep.
And there was a scene, I don't know if you caught it. There's probably going to be some people that are a little confused on it. There was a scene where Miguel grabs Vulture, and you see the shadow. He opens his mouth with his fangs.
Oh, yeah, he opens his fangs, yeah.
So for a lot of you who don't know, he is not a vampire. He was pretty much poisoned, and then an antidote kind of reacted with it, and he was given fangs and claws. His
powers are just a little bit different.
Yeah, so he has fangs, and they are poisonous.
Yep.
Just like some spiders out there.
I think mainly what they do is like they don't kill the victim.
No,
they just paralyze them. Yeah, they paralyze them. So like that's what he was trying to do at that moment, because some people might see it as like, whoa, he was trying to kill that guy, like or eat him, like what was going on? It's like no, he was just trying to paralyze him. Yep. That's what his fangs do. Yeah, mainly. Because also like you notice that he has claws
He does.
on his hands. That's because he doesn't have the same little hairs like a spider, like all the Spider-Men have.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, 2099 Spider-Man, there was no Spider-Man. So they were trying to replicate.
Yeah, exactly.
To get a Spider-Man, he ends up becoming the Spider-Man. He also doesn't have Spidey senses.
Exactly.
So, he's got a lot of stuff against him. With that being said, he's also got some benefits that the other Spider-Man don't have.
Exactly. Because as we saw in the movie, this was just a different timeline, Miguel O'Hara, that came into that timeline because that Miguel O'Hara died. So he was trying to fill in those shoes, right?
Yep. He thought he can just breach the gap.
Exactly. He thought that he was like, maybe I can just, exactly, step in where this guy left off and I can just pick up, the rest of my life. And then he just ended up ruining that timeline.
What is it called? Is it called an occurrence?
An incursion.
Incursion. There we go.
He created an
basically, the same thing with Loki. If you were in a timeline you're not supposed to be, your presence alone starts to unravel that universe, that life,
Yep, exactly.
lifeline, and it starts to collapse on itself.
But like what I want to bring up is that we saw that in a little bit forward in the movie, we saw that Pavati, the Indian Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So we saw that in that timeline, we finally saw that the Watch, it said that the cannon got broken. So Miles broke the cannon.
Yep, he saved.
So he saved the police chief and he also saved the girl.
Yep.
So what we end up seeing is that we start seeing that timeline starting to collapse on itself.
Because
right?
what makes Spider-Man, and they touch on this many times in the movie.
Many times.
What makes Spider-Man is the hardships that he's gone through.
Exactly.
He's always gone through a death, whether it was Gwen, Uncle Ben, or the police chief.
Police chief, exactly.
Being his love interest's father.
Exactly. So it's like those things, one of those things needs to happen in order for us to have a Spider-Man, to become that version of Spider-Man, the good guy, the caring guy and stuff like that. So we see that. And this is where I kind of have like a weird issue, because in Loki that we saw that if a different timeline was created, these universes didn't collapse on themselves. They just kind of continued on, but it was going to be a different universe. Obviously, if left unchecked, then that's how the whole TVA kind of goes off. It's like, oh man, we have too many timelines.
Yeah,
and it's bad all around.
Yeah, we don't really know what would happen if it branched out that chaotic.
Exactly.
It started happening at the end of Loki 1. So we don't really know the true extent of the damage that would happen if all these alternate universes started branching out that far.
Right.
But nonetheless, that is pretty much what Miguel is trying to stop.
Yeah, because we see that, like the timeline starts to kind of collapse on itself, and it's like, we can't have that. Too many universes to go out like that, because we saw that all the universes are connected in that spider web that he kind of showed off right there. And it's like, okay, so everything's connected. So why is it that we can't why can't we have like the good things happen in all these other universes versus, like if,
why does something bad always have to happen?
Exactly.
Which, by the way, I want to say, you son of a gun. You son of a... When I called you and I said that there was a spoiler that was ruined for me, and I asked you, I go, hey, I saw a stupid video and it ruined the movie for me because I saw Andrew Garfield, and you said, tell me and I'll confirm if it's real or not. And you said, no, Andrew Garfield's not in it. I believed you. I believed you. So then when I saw it, I go, this mother.
But I did that only because, like, hey, like, let me just no, he's not in there, and it'll be like a nice little surprise, like, oh, he was.
So like we said previous, there was so many cameos, so many. They show Andrew Garfield because when Miguel's trying to explain, you need these hardships, and he started showing all the police captains who died.
He was Andrew Garfield,
obviously in Amazing Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield, Gwen Stacy's dad, had died.
Yep,
and so that was Andrew Garfield's first traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Obviously in the second movie, Gwen died.
Yep, Gwen died.
But another cameo that we had, they also showed Tobey Maguire, by the way.
Oh,
they showed Uncle Ben. I was Uncle like, oh, Ben. My God.
Yeah.
But the one, if you blink, you'll miss it. There was a scene where they're all chasing Miles, and he's trying to get out of there. And pretty much Miguel calls the entire headquarters and tells every Spider-Man, get Miles. He cannot go back to his timeline.
Yep.
Because Miles is basically trying to avoid the Captain dying.
Yeah.
If you guys are up to date and you've seen the last movie, you know Miles' dad is a police officer.
Yep.
In this movie, he's about to be promoted to captain.
Exactly.
So they pretty much told him, hey, he's going to die, and it needs to happen. It's going to happen in 2 days.
Yeah.
Miles ain't having it, so he's trying to get back to his timeline.
Yep.
All the Spider-Men are following him, and if you, like I said, if you blink, you'll miss it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Boomtastic. He comes swinging through. Now, he's not wearing the Fantastic Four suit, but he did have the paper bag on his face. And I was like,
which is just,
wait a minute.
Which is hilarious because it's like that. He only wore the paper bag and the Fantastic Four suit because his suit got ruined after the Secret Invasion suit, because he gets the black suit from that. So he was like, no, I'm not wearing this anymore. Obviously, this is all in the comic book, and he didn't have another suit to go home with. So then the Fantastic Four let him borrow a suit, and it's like, well, you're going to have to figure out the whole mask thing. He's like, all right.
That paper bag. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, my God.
And then it's just hilarious to see him in an actual Spidey suit with just a paper bag on his head, and it was just...
it was amazing.
Man. It
was amazing.
It's great.
And then, so the villain... Do you know
the Spot?
The Spot.
Okay.
So the villain, I'm gonna flat out say it right now. In my opinion, I could be wrong. A lot of other people, and we posted videos out there where everyone thinks, they're like, we're nuts on our opinions. This is just our opinions, right? Yeah. We make this channel so you guys can voice your opinions too. If you think we're wrong
Absolutely.
on our opinion, you're right on your opinion. Either way, this is mine.
Yeah.
I think that the Spider-Man trilogy or the 4 movies, because I think there's gonna be a 4th one. I think there's gonna be more than 3. In my opinion, the Spider-Man movies right now are what's keeping MCU together, because it's the only things that I'm like looking forward to watching right now is pretty much the Spider-Man. I'm so invested in it.
Okay.
The villain, the Spot, pretty much was like, hey, I am going to pretty much bring everything to wreck house and bring everything together.
Yep.
So the scene where I damn near jumped out of my seat and kicked the seat in front of me.
I'm pretty sure I know which one it is.
When he pops in and we see a cashier.
Yeah, Mrs. Chow, Mrs. Chen, or
something like that. Not to say her name wrong, but from Venom.
Oh man!
From Tom Hardy's Venom. I was screaming inside. I was like, "Oh my God! Oh my God!"
Which is great. And again, this kind of confirms that version of Venom is going to have a Spider-Man in it, right? Because like they're kind of going around it as like, no, there's no Spider-Man in that universe. But why did he pop into that universe specifically? Because when Venom... All right, so bear with me here because I'm about to unravel like a few things here. So when they go into that universe and you see Mrs. Chow or Mrs. Chen, I'm sorry if I butcher it up, and we confirm that Venom is part of that canon now, right? Venom is part of that canon. In that universe, when we see the Venom movies, he doesn't know that there's a Spider-Man or anything like that, any other superheroes for that matter that exist, right?
Yeah.
So then he pops into Tom Holland's universe and he sees Spider-Man. He's like, that guy, right? He finally sees Spider-Man. It's like, oh, there he is. And even Tom Hardy was like, who the heck is that guy? I don't even know who that guy is. What are you talking about? And then we go back to our Venom universe again, and it's like everything's back to normal. There's no superheroes again. So that kind of confirms that there is a Spider-Man that's going to happen in the Venom universe, or that already is there, but we still haven't heard from him.
So what if... mic drop. What if... And just go with it for a second. What if we've been speculating over the past few months who's going to be Tom Hardy's Spider-Man. Is it going to be Tom Holland? Is it going to be Andrew? It's not going to be Toby because Toby already had his Venom.
He already had his Venom.
What if we didn't think about it? What if it's Miles? What if Miles ends up going against Tom Hardy's Venom?
Okay, all right. That's a theory.
Andrew Garfield, and this is going back. So stick with me here for a second because if you've seen the movie, there, like I said, there was so many things they touched based on.
There was so many.
When Miguel first jumped into Gwen's universe, he mentioned two things. He mentioned the Sinister Six.
Yep.
And then he mentioned Tom Holland's
the nerd.
He goes that nerd, and don't even get me started on that nerd and Doctor Strange
and 1999.
Yes, which is the universe that we understand. The main MCU.
That's the main MCU. Universe,
main MCU timeline.
Yep.
So he mentioned what Doctor Strange had done for Tom Holland for that Peter Parker. That he pretty much messed with the alternate universes that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire jumped in. So now that we're starting to mix, like I said, Tobey Maguire had his Venom.
Yep.
Andrew Garfield, there's rumors that they're making a third one, so he's going against the Sinister Six. That's his big one.
Yep.
What if, and then Tom Holland right now, we can still have Venom with him.
Okay.
Spot looks like he's going to be...
Well, we know we're going to have a Venom in the Tom Holland universe because that little piece of the Venom symbiote was left behind. So we know that he's going to have his own Venom.
Yeah.
There still leaves Andrew Garfield. I still think, even though, that theory is pretty good, if it is a Miles Morales that shows up in the Venom universe.
So sick.
I still think it's going to be Andrew Garfield.
That's going to go against?
That's going to go against Tom Hardy's Venom character.
I think, and oh my God, Andrew Garfield, his Spider-Man, I don't know why. Maybe it's just his acting that has portrayed that Spider-Man has gone through the worst traumatic things.
Absolutely.
I mean, you hearing Gwen's neck snap when it hit the ground.
Yep.
And then first her dad, then Gwen. He's all alone.
So if you think about it, so every Spider-Man has to go through a hardship, right?
Yes.
They have to go through like Uncle Ben or the police captain or Gwen Stacy dying, right?
He went through two.
He went through two. Not just one. He went through two. So first it was the police captain and then it was Gwen. So this is why we have a different Spider-Man as Andrew Garfield kind of portrays him, it's like I stopped pulling my punches, right? Like after that,
man, he's my favorite Spider-Man.
Stop pulling his punches, like, oh man, this guy gets it,
yes.
Right? But then we're about to see it with Miles Morales right now. He lost his uncle, and that was kind of his arc moving forward. And if you remember, the last time we talked on the podcast about Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse, I did mention I think his dad is going to go through that arc about he has to lose his dad because that is how it is in the comics, and that's how it is even in the video game. If you guys haven't played the video game, Marvel Spider-Man, that's who dies in the game.
Is his dad?
It's his dad. Oh. And we did see that version also, the Insomniac Spider-Man. They even put it in a little thought bubble when they were walking through like the little, like all the villains.
Yeah.
He was right there in the background. I was like, oh my God, yes.
Listen, and I said, Andrew's probably one of my favorite Spider-Mans, but Miles is climbing quick.
Mm-hmm.
He's climbing. He's on his on his coat. But in the movie, there's a reason why. Like I'm looking at Miles like, damn, this dude's getting it because you have hundreds of Spider-Man chasing after this dude.
Oh, man.
He's dodging all of them. He's and then when he goes against Miguel, you saw that anger come out. Like,
oh yeah.
First off, Gwen keeps calling him a kid. Peter keeps calling him a kid.
Yep.
And he's getting mad. Quit calling me a kid.
Yeah.
And at first I thought I was gonna hate punk rock Spider-Man. I was like, I don't know why. And then towards the end, I was like,
all right.
I dig you, man.
I see what you did
that
there.
Because I don't know what I was like. You know what? Lay off Gwen. That's Miles Gwen.
Right?
But then I was like, oh, this dude's just a disruptor. He likes to unbalance things and stuff. So I was like, hell yeah.
He likes to see the world burn.
When he's sitting there telling Miles, he goes, because Miles has multiple abilities that other Spider-Man don't have as well.
Yep.
He's able to turn invisible, and he has ability to like produce like electric shocks and stuff.
Yep.
So when he was sitting there trying to learn his powers on that force field to try to get to the spot, and Punk Rock Spider-Man pretty much tells him, quit using just your tips, man. Use the whole palm.
Use the whole hand, buddy.
So then when Miguel encapsulates him,
Oh yeah,
and
that was great.
You see Punk Rock Spider-Man just look at him. It dawned on him. I was like, yeah. Boom! I was like, damn, that's sick.
Yep. And I want to debunk something really fast, really quick, right? You know, when Miguel Ojeda was telling Miles that it's like, you are the original anomaly.
Yes.
You are the original Miles. I want to debunk something really quick, because we see that, and this is all over TikTok, Instagram. So you guys, you guys, I'm sure have seen it or will see it or whatever. But I want to make sure that it's clear that the spider, when the spider comes down, and we see it in the first Spider-Verse movie, right?
Yeah.
The spider comes down, and the spider was glitching itself, right?
What?
The spider itself was glitching, so the spider wasn't from his universe, right?
Yeah.
And this was explained in this movie, right? And we know that the Spot brought that spider over. Bless you.
Thank you.
We know that the Spot brought that spider over.
Yep.
And that's how Miles ended up getting bitten, right? Well, we've always been led to believe that the spider is always going to bite Spider-Man. But later, and before I give too much, because I wanna touch on this later. Later we see the little like flashback where the spider's kind of crawling down, and then we see that version of Miles Morales in the background. That kind of confirms as well that spider was going to bite Miles in Earth 42 and not Peter. So yes, Miles is the original anomaly only because the spider's from a different Earth, but that spider was always going to bite Miles Morales in that universe,
not Peter.
And before we get to the next part, I just wanted to clarify that, because it's like, to say that he was the original anomaly, it's like, well, hold on. He is technically, but a spider was always going to go after Miles.
He just found it in a different universe.
Exactly. He just found him. That's why the spider knew to look for Miles, because it's like, wait a minute, like, I was going to bite somebody here. Where is he now?
Yeah.
And then we see him in the sewers. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, there he is. Got him now.
Oh man, it's bringing a lot of it. And the Spot was hopping in so many different universes. He also hopped in Lego Spider-Man. I was like, what?
Oh my god, that was so great, dude. I was like, heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Another canon, another great scene. We see, what is his name? Donald Glover? Is that his name?
Oh, yeah.
Donald Glover or Childish Gambino?
Childish Gambino, yeah.
We see Childish Gambino dressed as the Prowler, and I lost it right there.
Oh, yeah. I saw, and it's so funny, right? Because, like, I saw this just yesterday. I saw the movie just yesterday. So it had been out for 2 days already.
Yep.
And I had a few coworkers at work. They were like, "Have you seen the movie yet?" And I'm yelling at everyone, "Shut up! Don't talk about it!
Shut up!
Shut up! My phone listens to it. If you talk about it, it's gonna pop up. Something's gonna get ruined." And our buddy Nigel decides to stand up. He goes, "Oh yeah, Childish Gambino dies." I go, "If he is in it and he dies, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to kill you."
I'm going to slap you so hard.
I don't even think he knew, because I asked him, I go, "Is he in it?" And he goes, "No, I haven't even seen it yet." And I go, "Well, if you just predicted something randomly, just pull it out of your..."
I'm still going to come back.
Yeah, exactly. So when I saw him in that, I was like, Nigel's dying.
He's died. But so here's the other like kind of weird thing that's going on, because we see that version of the Prowler in the first Spider-Man movie in Homecoming, right?
Yep.
We see him there, and his few lines that he had was, I have a nephew that's out here, and I want to look after him, and I want to make sure that he doesn't get into, all the bad scenes, into the crime life and stuff like that. And then you see him dressed as a Prowler, and it's like, what happened?
What?
what happened?
What? Yeah, that universe is Childish Gambino. That he went on a darker route. He goes, well, I'm not only going to protect him, I'm probably going to murder some people.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hold on, wait a minute. So it kind of tells me like, okay, something happened, and again, this a whole lot of unraveling here, because in that Homecoming movie, we see that Childish Gambino is the age that he is, and he's talking about his nephew as he's like younger, like very young, right?
Yeah.
Endgame happens, right? Or Infinity War happens. The snap 5 years later. This is still all post Endgame, correct? Yep. So 5 years later, so I'm assuming that the Miles Morales from the Spider-Man universe, like Tom Holland Spider-Man, is older now. So he should be around that same age, 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
So we should be able to see him. Did you know... This is a deep cut right now. This is deep cut Easter egg.
Let's get into it.
So, getting out of Spider-Verse and going back into No Way Home. At the end of No Way Home, there is a scene where Spider-Man, nobody knows who Spider-Man is anymore, right?
Yep.
He's in his apartment and he's about to swing out, right? Before that, there's actually a dialogue there. Like somebody in another apartment. And it's a woman screaming at a boy. In the English version, you can barely hear her voice. But in the Brazilian version, the Portuguese version, you can clearly say it. You can clearly hear it. And it's a woman yelling, Miles.
Shut up.
Come here, mi amor.
Shut
and it's
what?
And it's like, what?
So, is this in the same building that
in the same exact building? Yes.
That Peter lives.
Yep.
What? But she says it in English as well.
So she says it in English. It's just the English version, the one we got. You can barely hear her, so you can't really hear her in the dialogue. But in the Brazilian version, they turned up the volume so you can clearly hear her say, "Miles, come here, mi amor." But she says it
to everyone that's working on these movies, throwing these Easter eggs in. Oh my God!
So there's a good chance that Miles Morales is gonna be Peter Parker's neighbor, and this is how they end up meeting each other.
Dude. Oh man, my mind is just blown.
Yep. So I didn't know that, like I was watching it again, and then somebody brought it up again, and I was like, really? No way. And then it's like, sure enough, there it is. Like, oh, wow. Damn. Bravo. Let me just say it right now too. There's been a lot of backlash on Marvel. A lot of backlash. You see one Marvel movie come out, and then a lot of people are kind of like, oh my God, no, they didn't do so good. They did great. They did mediocre, right? Guardians 3, pretty good.
Yeah.
Thor Love and Thunder, not so good.
No.
Not so good.
No.
You even have like Chris Hemsworth himself coming out saying like it was childish, it was just goofy. Like, dude, you made the movie. Like you were in it. Like, you agreed to like everything that they told you, and you just went with it because you thought that the last 3 movies were kind of comedic, and you said a few funny lines, and it's like, okay, it's great. Not because it was good once, it's going to be good later.
Yeah. Do you think that, do you think when everyone pointed it out to him, that's when he dawned on it? It wasn't until after where he was like,
absolutely.
Oh man, you're right.
Absolutely. Because these actors, you know, they promote their movies, right? So they're gonna be like, oh yeah, go watch it, go watch it, go watch it, go watch it. The reviews come out and they're like, oh well, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's because of the director or the screenwriters or blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera. But you have all these Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man movies have always been a hit. I haven't seen a single Spider-Man movie that's been bad.
They find that perfect balance. You know, like there is humor in it.
Like
just like the newest one, when he popped into we mentioned Lego Universe, that was hilarious. But it wasn't trying to throw a haymaker laughter. It was like, let me throw you a quick jab. Now let's get back to the seriousness of
it. Like the only argument that I could make is Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire, where that's the only argument that I can like. Okay, you know what? Maybe.
I draw the line right there.
That's where I like. Okay, maybe there was one that wasn't so great, but the story was still good.
It was still a good story.
I agree. Maybe there was too much going on. You threw Venom and the Sandman all in it at the same time.
Goblin Jr.
It's
I think that was their first time trying to throw so many multiple villains into it, and they just didn't know how. And then on top of that, you had Peter trying to. He had the black suit on, so he was getting a little. Lesson learned.
Exactly.
But can I stay on the subject, changing it a little bit? I am so happy, you know, like you said, the Spider-Man movies have always done great. And leading into, and this is Across the Spider-Verse is part 1, if you guys aren't aware. Yep. It ends on a cliffhanger leading into part 2, Beyond the Spider-Verse. Which I can't express how stoked I am.
Oh,
but the very ending, do you remember the group she got together?
Yep.
Gwen?
Yep.
She brought back the old crew.
Yep. She brought...
what is it? Black Noir?
Spider Noir.
No, yeah.
Spider Noir. Penny.
Yep.
Spider Ham.
Yeah.
Peter B. Parker. Who was the other one? And the new one, Spider-Man in India, which I forget his name, man.
And Spider... Punk Spider is in it too.
Oh, Spider-Punk. Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
So like that's the new crew, right? That's the new crew.
But the fact that I saw the old crew from the first movie, I was like, I get to hear Nicolas Cage again as Spider-Man.
I can't. Oh, I love it. I loved his performance, you know, too. Like in the original Spider-Man movie, it's like just so like dark, but he was also funny at the same time. It's like this guy's trying to be serious, but it's like I can't take him seriously.
Yeah. And we got to see our first. Not only there's a limited amount of people who in all the universes that are Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You have Peter Parker, which is the OG Spider-Man.
Yep.
You got Miles. You have Miguel, and then you have Gwen.
Yep.
And not counting your T-Rexes and your horses and stuff, and your Spider Pig.
Spider Pig, yeah.
Yeah, but you also have now Peter just introduced someone else who has the spider gene. His daughter.
What's her name?
I'm not gonna pretend.
Penny? Is it Penny?
Was it Penny? It was
no, it's not Penny.
No, not Penny. I'm not gonna. I apologize. I forgot her name.
I already forgot.
But in this movie, Peter Parker from the first movie, who pretty much is a mentor to Miles. You know, the guy who's going through the hardships, because MJ left him. You know, he's down in the rut. This movie, he's got his act together.
Mayday Parker.
Is that it?
Yeah, Mayday Parker.
I like that.
Yep, that's it.
Mayday.
That was gonna drive me crazy if I didn't I know her name.
She has the spider ability.
Yeah,
she can walk. Does. She has the same thing where she can climb up the walls and stuff.
Climb the walls. Yep.
And he made a little web shooter for her, so she's just walking around shooting webs and stuff.
And I want to clarify something because I'm glad that you guys are going on to our page and commenting, liking our posts and stuff like that. I love it, man. It's great. It's awesome. But I want to debunk something because I know like at one point in one of our posts, you know, like some of the guys were talking about, you know, this version's from the comic book, this version is not, this version is, this version is not. It's like all of these Spider-Men and women are from a version of a comic book.
Yeah.
Like, to say that they are not from a comic book and they are not from this universe and this is a whole completely new, different universe. Some of those Spider people in that movie were made up specifically for the movie, but a lot of them were from comic books.
Yep.
Because if you look it up, almost every main character there that showed up came from a comic book. Yeah, yep. Came from a comic book issue. So a lot of these characters come from a comic book. We see that one of them is the Superior Spider-Man. Is it Superior or Ultimate Spider-Man? That's from like the TV show. You remember like in it's like that era, like 2007.
I think it's Superior.
The little short guy that you know, he had like a few lines and he comes up and it's like, you know, like hey,
the animation.
The animation.
Clearly tell
like
he was cartoony.
Exactly, and it's like, hey, like that. I remember that one. Yeah. And a lot of people loved that character. A lot of people loved it. I don't think he's from a version of a comic book. That's his version was a TV series, right? So like, yes, a lot of them were from the comic books. A lot of them were from the original TV series. So we just got everybody meshed in all at once.
It's come to the point where these are all, they're all within the same
spectrum.
Like, yeah. They all intertwine in some way or another. Mm-hmm. So when we mention something like, oh, in the comic books this has happened, obviously we just got to look at it like this is just an alternate universe.
This is just exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Branch
That's
off from it.
Yeah. So each comic book, like I want to look at it as each comic book series that has ever come out is just a different universe.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's all we have to.
Because Spider-Man 2099, that's a different universe. That's a whole different universe altogether. You know,
the future even.
Into the future, exactly. So, and then speaking of the future, right? The part that I wanted to get into, how sick was Miles Morales as the Prowler?
Oh,
dude. Oh my God.
So the very ending of Across the Spider-Verse, he's trying to, we mentioned this before, he's trying to get back to his universe. Yep. And as they go out throughout the movie, they explain how the spider that bit him was from Universe 42. And he bit him, so when he's trying to get back to his universe, the machine reads his DNA.
Yeah,
the DNA that's reading is from Universe 42. It sends him to Universe 42 where he sees his universe, darker, because there's no Spider-Man.
There is no Spider-Man. There's nobody to uphold the law. There's nobody to exactly.
There was never a Spider-Man. There was the whole problem with this universe is because the spider who was going to bite either Miles or Peter in that universe never happened. So the fact that it bit Miles in his universe, Universe 42 never had that hero to save it. So the world's just going rampant. That part of the world. And he goes to that Universe 42, sees his uncle still alive, and he's like, he hugs him and stuff, and then his uncle's like, "What'd you do with your braids?" Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I took him out.
I just took him out."
Yeah. He goes to the rooftop, and he sees the picture of his dad.
Yeah.
Captain died.
Rest in power.
Yeah, rest in power. And then he realizes that the roles have been reversed. Mm-hmm. Wakes up and sees the Prowler. Yeah. Takes the mask off.
Oh, dude.
And it's Miles.
Dude, that was so sick. Oh my God. It was so dope. Like when he goes up and it's like no, please don't. Oh my God, you can be good. You can be good. You can be good. You can do so much good in this world and blah blah blah. And he's like, it's not up to me, man. And then that's when Miles shows up in the Prowler suit, the whole glove and everything, the mask and everything. I was like, oh my God. Like I have a weird prediction. Like this is kind of how I want to see it go down, but like I don't think I'll be disappointed either way. However it does go down, like when part 2 comes out, I kind of see it going where like this version of Miles Morales with the whole Prowler suit kind of turns a new leaf.
And he'll be the protector.
And he'll be the protector of that universe. I kind of see it going that way. Again, I won't be mad if it doesn't, because I'm kind of excited to see what kind of comes down from this. Because you saw us like, dude, I'm you.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't kill me, you know, like I'm you, blah blah blah. And he's like, so like,
yeah, pretty much had zero.
Yeah, like what do I care?
And he looked at him like it didn't faze him,
like at all. Yeah, exactly. So like you can see that this version of Miles is way like darker, way like he's probably been through some stuff. And obviously, I think the death of his dad just kind of like solidified everything else,
just catapulted him into the villain role.
Exactly. And now he's just like, I don't care anymore. Like, I don't care what happens. I don't care what's going to go down. Like, I don't care if you even get back to your own universe. So, oh, well, sorry, buddy.
But you saw what he was doing, right? With the finger, how he was touching the chain.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, electrifying it. And I was like, and it cut right there. I was like, you son of a... I wanted to throw my drink at the screen. Don't you end it right there. Don't you dare. I turned back at the projector guy. Turn it back on. Turn it back on.
Turn it back on. But good news is we're getting the next part next year, so we don't have to wait an obscene amount of time like we did this time, because the last one that came out was when, like 2019, 2020?
God, it had to have been like 2-3 years ago. Yeah, before all the chaos happened.
If I remember right, I think it was more than 4 years ago. I believe
it could have been.
Could have been.
It could have been.
Because, yeah, it was a long time. This was, like, the first movie was kind of more like a feeler. Like, hey, let's see how people react to this movie. When the directors and everybody saw that, like, people loved it. Loved the first one.
Absolutely.
They're like, all right, let's go ahead and do another one, you know? And it's like, make it a 2-part. Let's see how that goes.
It was so weird because... when I first saw, I had my doubts too. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I watched it. I was like, okay, this is pretty good, man. Saw the second one, and I'm telling you, I was on the edge of my seat. I was like,
absolutely.
They took it to a whole new level. To me, this is my opinion, this was equivalent to Infinity War. That, in my opinion, I saw some things and I was like, especially when the spot popped in on Venom's world. And she was looking at him and he's like, why are you not fazed by this?
Yep.
You acting like this is just another Tuesday.
Yep. So I have like an early prediction moving on to the future, because we saw that the Spot was going into like all these other universes, right?
Yeah.
And looking for that version of the Alchemax lab, right? And he is just basically making himself powerful every universe that he goes to, et cetera, and then at the very end of the last time that we see the Spot, we see that he's just like darker, it's just more jagged, more like rough, and it's like, okay, all right. And by the way, this is a character that can travel the multiverse on his own accord.
Yep.
By the way,
he's got Americans' powers.
America Chavez's powers. So like the only characters that we know of is America Chavez. She can create portals and go into other universes. And the Spot, is there another? I think there is another one. Isn't there another one that can also travel the multiverse?
Yeah, there's probably a few. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but this is I love character development. We've said it many times on this podcast. You're going to hear it many more times to come. And this character's development happened within a span of 2 hours. It was so insane. So he starts off and he's just, trying to rob an ATM.
Just an ATM.
And Miles is sitting there, like taking him lightly and stuff. And he's calling him, what did he call him? He goes, you're just the weekend villain or something like that.
Oh yeah, the villain of the week.
The villain of the week. And for some reason, this guy, they actually show who the Spot was. He was in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 1.
Yeah.
He was actually the guy they threw the bagel or donut at. And then
that was pretty funny, actually. Yeah, I was like...
And he was in the reactor when it went off, and that's how he got affected, because he had chemicals he was working with, and that got on him. That's how he turns into the Spot. This dude went from that, a laughable character. Miles, like I said, he's calling him, he goes, you're just the weekend villain.
The
weekend villain. And there gets a point halfway through the movie. He goes, "I'll show you who's the weekend villain now.
I'm gonna be the villain of the year."
Villain of the year.
Oh,
This
man.
dude, you heard the anger in the voice.
Yeah.
And this dude is causing havoc, not just in his universe.
Yep.
Now everyone. Now he's a
suffering,
force to be reckoned with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Miles is probably hating himself for pushing to that limit. I think even Miles is telling him, he goes, "No, you're not. You're not just the
you're not just
villain." And Spot, and the animation gets so dark.
Yep.
He turns to him, and I forgot exactly what he tells him. And he goes something like, "You'll feel the pain too," or something like that. And then he gets the glimpse of the captain dying.
Yes.
His dad, and that's when he's like. And I was like,
"Oh man,
oh, this just
so
got
good."
dark.
Oh yeah, it was so good. It was so good. It was like a good amount of dark with a little bit of comedy and a little bit of like, drama, which was
Gordon
amazing.
Ramsay put the ingredients that was needed to make this movie. He put the right amount of spice, drama,
at Salt Bay.
Salt Bay, yeah. Gordon Ramsay was filleting this movie up. That's how great this movie was. It was put together so well balanced.
Oh, yeah.
There wasn't too much laughter. There wasn't too much darkness. It was just the right amount to
for every single part. Yeah,
everything for every character too. It was so good. And I can't express how much of a BA this dude was. The fact that he was going toe to toe with Miles, and I was like, "Oh, this is getting good."
Oh, absolutely. I definitely want to see more of Miguel O'Hara in the future. Moving forward. But where I was kind of going with that was the Spot, being that he's a multiversal being now. He's a multiversal character now. He can travel the multiverse at will. I think we're going to see him at some point in the live action, right?
Ooh, son of a gun. Man.
So like
that'd be sick.
And that's how I think this is kind of how we're going to be leading up to Secret Wars. This is how we're going to kind of like get like all these other characters, because we've been getting glimpses, right? We got the nerd from Earth, 1999, and Doctor Strange, right?
Yep,
Old Tom Holland,
yep.
breaking the multiverse, right? It's like, oh man, it broke the multiverse. Then you have Loki breaking the multiverse as well.
He's trying to fix it though.
Trying to fix it, but then you also have right now Miles Morales, and that whole ordeal. They're breaking the multiverse again, and I think all these events. Just all of these cataclysms, all these incursions are going to create Secret Wars.
And what's insane, right? Like I even said it, the rest of the MCU movies, there's not a few of them I'm looking forward to, but I get these Spider-Mans, I'm stoked for it. But with that being said, they're still trying to tell a story leading up to something cataclysmic. I'm not even saying the right words. Don't even throw that word. Throw it out. That ain't even the right word. This epic event.
Yeah.
That is going to be Secret Wars.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's just some stories got to be told whether we like it or not.
Yep. Absolutely.
And like you said, I can't wait. I hope that the Spot is a live action. I can't wait for Miles to be a live action, and I need to see Venom. I need to see
yep, we're gonna see Venom at some point, and it's like, come on, get him in there, get him in there. I don't care how you do it, just get him in there.
Oh yeah. The next movie that I can't wait for, it needs to get here now, is Deadpool.
Oh yeah, Deadpool needs to hurry up.
Deadpool's another one messing with the timeline.
Yep.
Now everyone's messing with the time. Well, Deadpool's messing with the timeline. Well, no, universe as well.
Universe,
he was going into alternate universes.
Yeah, he went into the alternate universe of himself as the Green Lantern. I mean, come on.
He did. But Deadpool has the ability to do what only one other character is able to do that I'm aware of, and that's break the fourth wall.
Yeah, She-Hulk can break
That's why I said one other character.
Yeah, exactly.
So, they're able to break the fourth wall. But Deadpool can go as far as killing the writers of MCU, of Marvel.
Ooh.
He actually went. Have you ever read or looked into Deadpool kills
No, I
the
haven't.
Marvel Universe? Deadpool, his third voice or whatever, snaps in his head. And he just starts killing everyone. He goes, I'm going to fix this. You know how far he went? He literally went off the pages. As you're flipping through the pages of the comic.
Yeah.
You see him opening a door, and he's like, shh. and you see the writers going, "Oh yeah," and Deadpool does this, Deadpool does that, and he goes in and murks the writers.
Oh man,
kills everyone.
I'm ready.
So that's how far Deadpool can take it. But like you got so many people breaking these timelines. Do you think it was Loki's fault?
At this point, it's hard to even say whose fault it is.
Well,
because
let's go back in time.
Let's go back, okay?
Loki, remember Kang said, he goes, "You can kill me." He goes, "But I'm the only one stopping the others."
Yep, absolutely.
That Kang had the entire timelines in the reins. He was stopping everything from breaking loose. And it was at that moment, the minute Loki killed him, all these other movies came out, and these timelines are branching off like
branching off, like crazy.
So technically, if they had never killed that Kang, do you think these events would have happened? Even into the Spider-Verse. Maybe something weird would have happened, and someone from the TMV or whatever, or TMA, I keep forgetting. TVA. Those are 3 words or letters I'll never remember. TVA. Do you think someone from the TVA would have been there to stop it? Owen Wilson's in there stopping Spider-Man.
Oh my God, I can't say that. Oh man, because yes, you're absolutely right. Like from that moment right there, that's when they killed that Kang. That's when everything went to absolute chaos. And that was like the first moment us seeing it also on TV, right? Like seeing it live happening. It's like, okay, all right. You also have Wanda as well that kind of broke the timeline as well, trying to like bring back Vision. And it's like, well, I'm just going to go into this alternate universe where I still have my kids over here, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, in a sense, I think Loki is the original chaos creator. Essentially, he is the god of chaos and mischief, right? So, did he mean to do it? Probably not.
Well, it was actually. It wasn't even Loki. It was the
it was Loki.
Well, it was Loki, but it was Loki, but not Loki. Who killed him?
But it was Loki.
But she killed. Female Loki killed
Sylvie.
Kang.
Yeah, Sylvie killed Kang. Yeah, and he was trying to hold her back. Like, no, hold on, let's hear him out. Let's hear him out real quick. And he was actually finally going to have like his kingdom essentially, and he was going to rule the entire universe,
the multiverse,
basically. But I think it wouldn't have held up at all, even if he would have taken control when Kang let him, like, hey, you can have all of this. I don't think it would have held up because another Kang would have probably came in and like.
But remember, he said he's holding the other Kangs back.
He is, but how was Loki going to hold them all back? You know what I mean?
I think Kang would have stepped in to stop the other Kang.
Which Kang?
All of them. Oh man!
All right, that's enough of all the. There's a lot going on. Obviously, we're not going to deny that. If we probably got a few things wrong here, like we
probably got a lot of things wrong.
We got a lot of things wrong, but
this is just a discussion between nerds.
This is what we think is going to happen and how we portray or how we see these things happening, and I can't wait. I'm ready for it. I'm
Stoked.
ready for it. But that being said, let's move on to the next segment. Anime. We talked to you guys about anime on the last episode, and we're gonna deliver. But I gotta pause real quick.
Pause.
Bueno. I'm about to Joe Rogan this thing.
Joe Rogan, huh?
When he does his little potty breaks, like, all right, got a good potty. And then just comes back just like that. It's like, hey, nothing happened.
Jumps right into it.
But so we talked about anime on the last episode, and we were gonna deliver to you guys that, hey, we're gonna talk about some anime. That being said, it's weird.
It's hard. There's just some shows that are hard to get into. So like, the problem I have doing right is finding the dubbed version. Like that's where I struggle with. On Netflix, they have a whole list of anime shows.
Oh yeah,
and we were recommended Demon Slayer.
Yeah,
and I clicked on it, and it was I was subtitles. I was like, I can't do it. There's some things I can do subtitles to. I don't know what it is. Anime, I'm like, nope, I don't want to. I refuse to.
So first off, right, so that was one of my hurdles, right? So like I started watching all these animes, and I think when some of you guys hear the animes that I started watching, you're going to be like, you're crazy, dude. You're out of your mind. But I first ran into that same issue. Like you get into it and it's like, okay, you have 3 options. You have English, you have Japanese original with subtitles, and you have English with subtitles, right?
Yep.
A lot of times I like to watch my shows with subtitles because sometimes I'm very hard at hearing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't understand certain words that characters say, actors say. So then I like read it down, especially like if it's if the character has like an accent per se, right? Yeah. It's like a character from like a different country or something like that. It's like, what the heck did he say? It's like I can just read it really quick. I found out really fast that the English version and the subtitles do not match at all. So it's throwing me off completely, right? So I'm like, oh my God, what are they saying?
Which ones have you tried to watch?
So the first one that I got into, Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is actually pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It has like this weird comedy feel to it, and trying to be like serious. Like we have like a bunch of vampire slayers and a bunch of demon slayers, right? That are trying to be funny, and it's like, okay, this. It's kind of weird. Like there's a few scenes where it's like you genuinely do laugh.
Yeah.
And then there's some others that are like, what were you trying to do there? Like,
yeah,
what's happening over here? So I started watching Demon Slayer, and then that got intercepted by my wife because she started watching it with me. So now I can't continue to watch
until
she watches it, right? So I'm like, God, okay, whatever, fine. So then the next anime that I started watching, Naruto. I hate it. I hate everything. Oh my God. Whoever, if you can tell me right now that you love Naruto, no, it sucks. It's horrible.
Oh yeah,
horrible.
You hit some buttons there because you got some die-hard Naruto fans.
It is garbage. Absolute trash.
Okay, so I've never watched it. So explain to me what you hate about it.
So to be fair, it's like the original Naruto. So somebody was telling me that you have Naruto and then you have Naruto Shaput, whatever. It's like a different version. It's like you had Dragon Ball and then you had Dragon Ball Z.
Got it. Yeah, the next saga,
right?
Yeah.
Which, did you see Dragon Ball?
I watched every episode.
It wasn't great. It wasn't the greatest.
I actually liked it.
You did.
I did.
That is crazy. You are crazy.
I like Dragon Ball, but like it was, to me, I loved it because it was explaining how he got here. It was explaining the beginning. It explained the Dragon Balls. It explained how Bulma and Goku met.
I think that in the original Dragon Ball series, there was too many fillers, too many episodes that were kind of pointless, and it's just like, who are these characters? Like, these characters never moved on in the saga. They never went forward in the Dragon Ball Z saga.
I mean, you definitely had a lot of characters fall off to where you didn't see him again.
Exactly.
But I don't know. For some reason, it didn't bother me a whole lot. They were like, I think after Dragon Ball Z, Tien just dropped off. You never saw him again.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I think he comes back in Super. Maybe for like
a few episodes, yeah. But nothing crazy.
In GT, he was damn near never seen again, except for like maybe one episode, and that was just a quick glance over of him. Yep. But so is it just confusing as far as Naruto?
Naruto, it's just you have you have this kid, right, that's going through his ninja training, right? And it's like, okay, cool. Like, let's see how this goes. And just like the episodes so far, it's just like it's really like a lot of talking just to do one move. Like, you remember when Goku went Super Saiyan for the first time?
Yeah.
It took like 20 episodes.
Because he was still screaming?
Because he was still screaming, you know, and every single one. It's kind of the same thing. Like, you have like multiple episodes that they are still in this same fight. And it's like, move forward, man. And I get it. These were older episodes. They were made back in 90s, 2000s, whenever the heck they came out. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it one bit.
Okay.
So like somebody did tell me like, hey, watch up to season 2 of the original Naruto, just so you understand what's going on, and then move on to this Naruto Shippuden. I don't know. If you know what it is, put it down in the comments. But move on forward. It's like, because they were telling me the same thing. It's like Dragon Ball, and then you had Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball wasn't the greatest, and then you had Dragon Ball Z, which was like, that's the stuff to watch. That's it. So it's like, okay, all right, I'll give it another shot. I won't completely shut it down, but if it gets even crazier, like, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening.
So I've seen a few animes. I've watched a few shows. Obviously, I've seen Dragon Ball. This is a show I'm trying to get more people to watch. Like, for some reason, no one wants to trust me on this. One Punch Man is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. So you have you seen any of it?
Not yet. No, I bit more than I could chew.
One Punch
when
Man
I started watching all these animes.
Has only 2 seasons.
Yeah,
as of right now.
Okay.
I think there's a third one, but it's not dubbed yet.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
You only have 2 seasons of dubbed English.
Okay.
And oh man, it is such a great show. The whole premise of it is superheroes. You know, like they're paid superheroes. And there's a class rank. There's
kind of like the boys, Kind of like the boys.
Kinda, except they're not. It's
superheroes for hire.
Superhero, yeah, I guess, somewhat like the boys. I guess you can kind of say. So you have, except they're not villains.
Okay,
not all of them.
Not all. Oh, okay,
not all
right.
It starts throwing some suspense in there. So you have certain heroes going up to you, certain characters telling them, "Hey, don't trust this guy." And then they leave very mysterious on them. They don't explain them. So, like, obviously, like I said, there's only 2 seasons.
All right.
You have ranks. So you have level C, B, A, and then S. S is your goated.
Okay, gotcha.
They only call you in if something like a meteor is about to crash into the world,
like something dire.
It's
gonna happen.
And they have ranks for the villains. They go, we have a level dragon, or no, level demon. And then I think dragon is like the highest, or god, something like that is the highest.
Okay.
Pretty much world-ending events, and that's where, depending on the level of the crime, will be depict who they send in.
Is this just like this is all in the same Earth, like in the same world?
Earth. Yes. There's no.
So you're telling me that something's about to destroy this whole world. Government has to hire these superheroes.
They're on pay. They're not. So if you're a class S,
to save the world that they are living in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of them, dude. Some of them have like egos like crazy. They're like, I ain't lifting my finger for this.
Yeah.
And you have, so your class S, you're still ranked. Like, I think it starts at like 20 or 15, whatever, all the way up to 1. If you're number 1, you're the top of the food chain.
Okay.
And his name is number 1, class S, rank 1. His name is Blast.
Okay.
Haven't seen him. He's mysterious. He only shows up for the worst. And like this dude, yeah. So there's this thing called Senna. I want to butcher the name. Centipede something it's this giant thing that's just tunneling through the world.
Right. Okay.
Coming out, destroying all these superheroes, and a lot of other Class S heroes can't defeat it. Apparently, Blast hit it so hard it damn near died last time.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole show, there's a guy named Saitama, and he's the world's strongest hero, and no one knows it. Well, few people do know it, but the rest of the world he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Okay.
In fact, there's another guy in Class S.
Yeah.
He's ranked number 7. He's called King, and they call him the world's strongest man. Because
Okay.
every time Saitama has been there to kill a giant villain,
Right.
somehow this dude was right next to it, and he just got credit for it. So he has no powers, and
Okay.
somehow made it to the top of Class S. And he has this thing called the engine, the King engine.
Okay.
And you hear it just sounds like drums, doom, 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 doom. And they're like, "Oh my God, King's coming! King's about to tear this dude up!" It's his heart pounding out of his chest because he's terrified.
Jesus. Good God.
But Saitama can kill anything in one punch.
One punch.
He trained
man.
so
Okay,
hard.
Got it.
It shows like how he became the strongest man or the strongest person in the world.
Yeah.
He trained so hard. He wanted to be a hero. He goes, "I'm tired of being bullied, whatever. I'm tired of the world bending me over." So he trained so hard that he literally went bald. Yeah. And now he goes, fighting's not even fun for him anymore.
Okay.
He hits something and he barely taps it and just obliterates it.
Obliterates. Jesus.
In fact, there's this creature. It's the end of season 1. This alien, he comes down to Earth and he goes, "I've been scouring the universe looking for, there's a prophecy that someone will give me the fight that I've been destined." In fact, this dude has armor on to hold back his full power.
Okay.
So Saitama hits him, armor cracks off, and he goes, "You just unleashed my full potential." And
Yeah.
this dude hits Saitama, goes flying to the moon.
Yeah.
Saitama pushes himself back down, and he's one of the only dudes so far that Saitama's been able to hit more than once, and it didn't kill him.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, it's a lot of people say, they were telling you, they go, "Watch this because the anime is good. The animation's good."
Okay.
One Punch Man.
Just
One Punch Man.
That's it. That's
Watch.
yeah.
So I'm telling you, watch the first season. If you don't like it, don't watch anymore. I won't even bring it up again.
Okay. All right. I will. I'll add that one to the list, and it's like, okay, let's go down the list. The next one that I started watching, and people are gonna call me crazy. One Piece.
That's commitment. That is. I watched a few of it when it first aired out. When I was I was young when it first popped on Toonami.
So what's crazy is that the episodes. So I started from the beginning. It's on Netflix right now. 300 plus episodes on Netflix alone. Not even counting the other 700 plus that are out there.
What?
There's over 1,000 episodes
Oh my God.
of One Piece.
How much time is that? Each episode's what? 30 minutes?
About 20 minutes a piece,
Say
yeah.
20 minutes. That's 20,000. 20,000. How? What? I'm not.
Don't
a
even try. Don't
mathematician.
even
I
try
know.
to. Yeah, no. Like, pull up the calculator.
Yep. I'm gonna pull out the calculator.
There's over 1,000 episodes.
So
So,
let's say
20.
20 minutes because commercials and all that. So 20 minutes times 1,000. It's 20,000. So 20,000 minutes is how
Divided by 60.
divided by. That's an hour, right? So
Yep.
333 hours.
Oh, man. I think there's more than 1,000, but that's just that's it. Yeah. Yeah,
Man.
that's definitely commitment. But I will say, and again, I'm going to draw some hate from this. Just in the first few episodes of One Piece, way better than Naruto.
I do like it.
Way better.
It's actually pretty cool, right? Because he ate the forbidden fruit, and that's why he's able to
exactly
throw
yeah
that long.
yeah, and the little hints in there that are kind of I see what you did there. Okay, all right. That was just gum kick, gum punch, and I was like, what? What's what? What do you say? And I remember my daughter is sitting right there next to me, and she's like, dude, I mean, ADD to the fullest, right?
Yeah.
She's 4, ADD to the fullest, and that's all she caught from the damn episode.
Gum. Oh,
That was
kids.
it. That's all
Gotta
she
love
caught
them.
from it, right? And I was like, all right, okay, I can get into this, I can watch this, and I would enjoy it, no problem. Commitment, I don't know if I have the commitment to watch all of it, but I can say that I can enjoy it.
Yeah.
300 plus episodes on Netflix. I don't know how long that's going to take me, dude, but I don't know. I don't know. It might take me a few years. It might take me a while.
Yeah.
But I can say, yeah, I can see myself sitting down and actually enjoying One Piece. I saw a meme out there at one point, and it said, One Piece is just the anime version of Grey's Anatomy. I was like, dang, oh my god, because Grey's Anatomy, I think it's on their like 8th or 9th, 10th season or some crazy thing.
Still
like
going
that. It's
strong.
Just never ending, and like I'm telling you,
it's gonna be like Days of Our Lives.
Oh god,
it's
dude.
a show that comes on still to this day. My grandma was watching it,
dude,
or in the early like 80s or 70s or something like that.
Oh my god,
and it's still pumping out episodes.
You know, like those shows that are out there that are still going on today, and then you're like, just let it die. Just let it die. Let it end. For the love of God.
I remember watching an episode with my mom, and it caught my attention. Someone was being murdered or whatever, and I was like, hold on, what's going on here?
Right.
And I kid you not, for a week, I'd sit there and watch it with my mom. And I was started catching the stars. Like, all right, this is cool. You know, all right, it's a little mysterious and stuff.
Yep.
And then, I kid you not, this one dude gets shot at. I'm not even exaggerating. This dude, I saw him go. And the bullet dodged him, right? And I stood up from my mom's room. I go, I'm done. I walked out, never to see it again. I was like, did he just Neo?
Oh my
God, I couldn't. I was like, he just pulled the Matrix. I couldn't.
It's like, I will tell you right now. So like, if anybody in the audience, you know, like if you're watching this and you're Hispanic, you know, you should know. Like, you should know. Have you heard of Ugly Betty?
Yeah, I've heard of Ugly Betty.
Ugly Betty. There's like 3 different versions of Ugly Betty.
What do you mean?
I kid you not.
Like 3 different. They tried to make the show 3 different times.
No, not tried. They did.
They failed. Let's try it again.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. Like, it came out, and it was originally in Spanish. Betty la Fea. Okay. Right? So like, it came out, and this is when I was still a kid. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, Betty la Fea. All right, cool. Let's give it a watch. And it's a flippin' novela, right? And it's like, man, if you're a self-respecting man out there, you will not watch any novellas. But hey, you know, it's like they're there. Grandma's watching them. Yep. Mom's watching them. You're watching them too. So anyway, you sit down and you watch it. And I saw the whole thing, you know, when it came out. And I was like, okay, all right, whatever. Like, I'd never really thought anything of it. And then years later, they made another version. Again, Betty la Fea. And I was like, oh, so it's a more modern version of Ugly Betty. The story was exactly the same. They changed nothing. The story was exactly the same.
Actors.
It's just the actors, different actors. Okay. And then you have Ugly Betty, the English version. And it's like, okay, let me guess. The dude. Oh.
Same thing.
Yep, there it is. Same thing. Just let it die. Just let it die. You could have literally dubbed it into English, and you would have been fine. You would have been fine. But no, they decided, no, we're going to do a whole new series, a whole new thing again, all over again. And it was even more modern, more like new technology and everything. It's like, just let it die.
And that's how we veer far off subject.
Again, there are just shows out there that just need to die. I think this is one of them. Like, if there's still more episodes of One Piece, let it die. Just let it die. Let it
finish the storyline.
Just finish it up, man. Good Lord. But anyway, moving from that, the one that I did actually get into. So I did say Demon Slayer is actually pretty good, and I do look forward to watching that one. The other one, it's on Netflix right now, and it's kind of underrated. Like, not a lot of people are talking about it right now. Some people are like, oh, I've heard rumors. I've heard that it's good. I've heard that it's okay. You know, it's like Vinland Saga. on Netflix right now.
That sounds familiar.
So you should have seen like a trailer. Yeah, you should have seen like a trailer or something like that. And it is good. That is good. But to be fair, I'm into that kind of stuff. It's about Vikings and you know, like that Nordic.
That's all you needed to say was Vikings. I'm in it.
It's just an anime about Vikings, and I'm like, I'm all about it. I'm all in. So first episode, you know, I go in and I watched it. And like you have like the main character Thor's, not Thor, Thor's. So in that time period, in that era, a lot of kids that were born were given the name of Thor, but in a different version. So they would start off with Thor, Thor's, Thorskin, Thorfinn, Thor, whatever, right? Yeah. And it was just based off of that Thor, because a lot of people knew the god of thunder, you know, the main god, and say like, hey, we want to give him that same name. So it kind of went along those lines, and I like that they actually included that in that show. And it's like, that's pretty cool, man. Like, these people actually knew what they were talking about.
They did a little research.
They actually did some research, and they actually, like, there's a character named Loki, like not Loki, but for Loki. And it's like, oh, like, that's actually pretty cool, too. Like, they actually, like, varied the name from Loki for Loki. So they actually did, like they did their little research. The main character Thor's, he's like this OP character, dude, and he's just like, bro, he's wrecking shop, dude. Like, and he doesn't look for the battle. The battle just comes to him, and he's just that character. Like, I don't want to fight, you know, like I really don't want to fight. And then all of a sudden, like, these characters just want to go at him, you know. And he's like, you have these crew members of a ship that are just running towards him, right? And he's over here like, okay, guess we're going to have to do this. And these are like grown men, right?
Yeah.
Full swords coming right at him. And he just comes in, like they're swinging at him, and he's just like, breaks his ribs. The next guy comes up, swings, right? Like stops it, breaks his neck. It's
Damn.
Like, good God. And one of the coolest things that I've seen, and they've only done it once, and it was like beginning like second episode, third episode, somewhere around there. Like, it was really early in the show. Was one of the characters, he's a big, tall character, takes his fruit, and he just goes completely crazy. Just his eyes go to the back of his head. And he just loses it. He's just screaming at it. He like, his muscles physically grow, right? He just grows. And then Thor looks at him like, what happened? Like, why is this guy like so like out of control? Yeah. Like, what's going on? Because he was even beating up his own teammates, his own guys.
He just went rampage.
And he's like, oh, I know what happened. He ate the berserker fruit. And oh my God, sick. Dude, that's so sick. This dude just goes in, just wrecking house, and he actually put up a good fight, but Thor still, he had to do a few combos.
One, two.
All right, cool, and brought him down. And it's like, oh man,
I like that you brought that up. You know, for it follows like a Norse kind of mythology anime.
I love it.
And that's, you love. I know, knowing you love Norse mythology. You love the Vikings. So, I love Japanese culture. I love the samurai.
Yep.
So, going into that, when you mentioned a show called Visions.
Star Wars Visions. God.
Now, there are some episodes I cannot get into. In fact, I just like, you know, I'm going to skip this episode. I can't do it. So, every episode is not the same. They're all different storylines, different characters altogether. Mm-hmm. The first episode of season 1, I lost it. I was so infatuated and in love with this character. I couldn't. In fact, I saw a comic book for it.
Yes.
And I went out and I bought that comic book.
Yep.
It was for issue number 1. So for the first season, episode 1, you see Japanese themed.
If I'm correct, I think the episode's called The Ronin.
The Ronin. Yep.
Oh,
the God. Ronin. For those of you who don't know, Ronin is pretty much a samurai with no master.
Yep.
So it starts off here in this Japanese culture, but still the futuristic Star Wars characters.
Yep.
So I think if it does fall a timeline, I want to say it's after the Rebels.
So actually, this is where you might be a little bit sad. I saw somewhere. So Wikipedia. Wikipedia is like a Wikipedia, but it's mainly for Star Wars.
Okay.
And they actually confirm on that site what characters are canon and what characters are not.
So they're not canon.
And they are not canon.
So
as of now.
Yeah, as of right now. So, but it kind of I was given like a guesstimate of if I had to say a timeline just because off of the suits.
Yep.
So the stormtroopers, like the way they kind of looked. So
gotcha. Okay.
They come out and basically they're all Japanese style Star Wars characters. They have like the little hats and stuff, and they all have samurai swords.
The big hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Raiden hat. And they're out there and they're taking over this village. You have some people, some rebellion come up and pretty much try to stop these stormtroopers. And then a Sith comes out. And she's bad. She's wearing high heels. And she's got this umbrella looking saber.
Yeah.
And she's just spinning it. Like for a second, it looked like the rebellion was going to be able to push out the troopers.
Yep.
And the troopers come up there and they're like, pretty much, where's your leader? Where's your what's the word I'm looking for? Your not emperor. Pretty much your
protector. Where's your protector? Where's your leader? Yeah. Something like
basically.
That, yeah.
So comes in and then they start harassing all the city or the civilians.
Yeah.
So that's when the rebels come out and they try to find them off, shoot them and stuff.
Yep.
They hurt a few of them. Sith comes out, starts spinning her umbrella. Sith shooting lasers off of it, killing them all.
Yep.
And that's when up on the hill there's a samurai getting a droid or getting something worked on. His droid gets hit and pretty much was like, he makes this teapot, puts it on the pilot, and he goes, when that starts whistling and it's hot, have my droid ready to go.
Yep.
I'll be back. Goes into town and in the samurai suit and stuff, and she goes to throw her saber down on him, and he catches it with the force.
Yep.
And she goes, it's been a long time since I've come across a Jedi. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, this is insane. Pushes her back and then pulls out his saber. And lo and behold, it was red.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, 2 Siths?
Oh, God.
They end up going at each other. And, eventually she ends up hurting him. She starts shooting missiles down. No, she had a bunch of reinforcements come in, hurt the town folk, and he pretty much falls into this waterfall. She goes, he hides his saber.
Yeah.
As on the statue, she goes in, tries to stab it, realizing it's not him.
Oh yeah.
And he just right behind her, right through her stomach, kills her. Goes back to the town folk, saves them, blah 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 blah, all this stuff. But in her saber, he pulls out her red crystal, and when he opens up his robe, he puts it next to like 6 other crystals, and I was like, this dude's been going through murking other Siths,
dude.
I was like, oh my God, I need more of this guy. I need more storyline. I need more of this guy's storyline.
So this is why, like, last episode I talked about it, Star Wars Visions. I'm going to need a series for every single episode that came out.
Yeah.
Because it was good. Everything, to me, I know you said that some of them you were like, I couldn't get into it. I liked it. I liked it all.
There was a few I couldn't, but there was the majority of them. I was like,
oh yeah,
oh my God,
dude,
that Ronin episode, man, oh my God,
so good. It's so good. I know. And you remember that I showed you the episode 1 of season 2.
Yes,
and it was Sith, right? Yes. And it's the girl, and she kind of like, oh man, like there's a darkness. She's trying to make a painting, and then it's like, why is it always come out dark? Why is it always coming out dark? Why is it always coming out dark? And it was just her figuring out that in order to have light, you have to have darkness.
Finding the balance.
You have to find a balance, right?
Yes.
And then there you have the Sith master that comes in and is trying to recruit her. And it's like, all right, you got to come back. You have to become the master. You have to become the master. It's like, no, I'm not a Sith anymore. Yeah. It's like, that's when we find out. It's like, oh, she was a Sith?
She was a Sith at one point.
What? Oh my God. And then, they battle it out. They duke it out. And the sword, when she pulls out her saber, you know, was it the first one? The first one was yellow.
The first one was yellow.
The first one was yellow. She pulls it out, and he's like, "Oh, you changed? Oh, you think that's gonna stop? Oh, whatever." And then she's like, "Oh, I'm not done yet." And then like the other half comes out, and it's red.
I was like, "Oh my god!
Oh my god, dude!" And then
I woke up today and chose violence.
Yep. And then they battle it out. She becomes, she ends up killing the Sith master, and then it's like, all right, you are now the master. And this is where I had like this realization, like, oh my god, she is the Sith master. And obviously these are not canon, right?
Yeah.
Until at some point Lucasfilms decides, like, okay, you know what, we're gonna introduce it into the live action. We're gonna bring it in. But that's when I realized that if you have somebody that decides to not follow the path, but she is the master, she is a Sith master, how do you move forward? Because you have to have darkness to balance out the light, right? Yeah. So you can't always have light side and you can't always have dark side. You have to have a balance. So she had to have gotten an apprentice at some point to follow in the path. So it's like, I need more. I need to see more.
No, yeah, there's like I said, like you said, there's some episodes you need to make more of it. Primarily Ronin.
Oh yeah.
Get me a whole freaking show, a series
whole spin-off.
of it.
Yeah, like give me a whole series of the Ronin.
I'll be there to watch it.
Yeah. I think they laid off with that episode in the beginning because it's like
let's hook them.
Let's hook them right now.
Bravo, you did.
Because it was they wanted to show that Star Wars could be animated, and anime specifically, not just animated, an anime.
Yeah.
And it can thrive. It can perform. It can be a big thing.
The minute, the thing that blew my mind away. So obviously, like I said, I love Japanese culture. Mm-hmm. But when I saw Sith vs. Sith, I was like, oh my god.
It gives you like a whole new take.
Yes.
Like a whole new. You don't always have to follow the same MO. You can always do your own thing. That's how we see, in episode Sith, season 2, episode 1, she broke off of the Sith order.
Yeah.
She broke off. She didn't want to do it anymore. Because we've always seen Jedi leaving the order. Like, we've seen them always like, hey, this doesn't follow my values. I don't think I should continue on in the order. I'm going to go out and do my own thing.
But like you said, so you have, and it's the same story time after time. It's like the good guy versus the bad guy, the good guy versus the bad guy. When I saw this episode, what was going through my head was you have a character that was pretty much telling you, hey, don't think for a second that I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
I can too choose violence.
Exactly.
I can too choose the dark side. I'm just trying to go about my own life.
I'm just trying to do my own thing. I'm just trying to like stay.
But if you intervene and get in that path,
because I think if I remember right, like the village people also saw the Ronin as kind of like their savior, like their good guy, right? And he was like, no, don't think about it that way.
Yeah,
don't mistake my.
She merely got in my way.
Don't mistake my kindness for weakness. So it's like, all right, okay, yep. Like I dig it, man. Like I love it. I want to see more of it. Like please give me more.
On that note,
I know I had a few more things for you guys, but I'll leave it for the next episode.
You want to get out now, or are you good leaving it?
I think I'm good leaving it. Just a teaser, like it was just more Pokemon stuff. We're jumping into like a lot of Pokemon things, and it's getting a little hectic out there. It's getting a little hectic.
Pokemon.
Next episode. Pokemon.
Well, if you guys have listened this long, I think this was a pretty long episode, to be honest. We definitely appreciate you. We stumbled through the new Spider-Man movie. I know I was all over the place. I apologize.
Words are hard. It's okay.
Yeah, words are very hard. My brain thinks of what I want to say, and my mouth's like, let me see if I can spit that out as fast as possible. And it just gets everywhere.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you if you've listened this long, and if you've watched this long. you know what? We love your guys' comments down below when you guys watch our stuff. It
absolutely.
Honestly makes me happy. You know, there's an audience.
At least, like that. We know that somebody's out there listening. Somebody's out there watching, and at least we're not just in here throwing this stuff out there in the space in the universe, right? And it's like, I wonder.
And in an alternate universe, this podcast is doing really good.
We're like their Joe Rogans of another universe.
Man, I want to go on that universe. Right? On that note, guys, we appreciate everything. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.